So after a week of delays and cancellations, how long will it take for air travel to get back to normal? And will there be any political fallout from this episode? Let's talk it over with Jonathan Allen, senior Washington correspondent for Politico, and our own Peter Greenberg, CBS News travel editor there in our Washington bureau this morning. Good morning to you both. Peter, let me start with you. How long is it going to be before things get back to normal, do you think?
Well, once the president signs the bill, which is expected soon, anywhere from 24 to 36 hours will be back to where it was before this happened. It doesn't take that long to do it. Under union rules, you have to give the air traffic controllers 30 days notice before you furlough them, but you don't have to give them 30 days notice before you bring them back. So 24 to 36 hours, back to normal.
Back to normal, but back to the debate here, Jonathan, about how to handle some of these financial strains on the government. I mean, what does this say in terms of the government focusing on helping out the FAA while there are other government programs still on the chopping block?
It says this is the problem that was felt most acutely by the broadest number of people who vote. Members of Congress react to pain among their constituents as quickly as passing this bill within a 24-hour period toward the end of the week here. They wanted to make sure they didn't go home for their own congressional recess while people were waiting in lines at airports. They did that, so people will make fun of them for getting on planes, getting out of town without a line, but the alternative for them was worse.
Jonathan, the Republicans have accused the president of using the FAA furloughs to put pressure on Congress so that the spending cuts across the board are lifted. Do you think that's a tactic he used here?
I don't know what the president's motivation was here, to the extent to which Transportation Secretary Ray LaHood is actually making the decisions. I will say this. The legislation basically allows the administration to shift money between accounts. So if they wanted to continue to have furloughs and wanted to continue to have long lines, they could certainly do that.
Peter, how bad was this pain really? I mean, we had this cry of uncle here, but put in perspective just how dramatic the impact actually was.
Well, as you heard from Jan's report, 5,000 flights were delayed. But now let's put this in real perspective. Every day in this country, 15,000 air traffic controllers basically handle about 50,000 flights. So the actual number of flights that were delayed was actually small in comparison. The real issue here was not one of safety. It was a real numbers game that was being played in terms of how airlines schedule their planes. So hopefully the wake-up call here will be, now that we're going quote-unquote back to normal, how will the airlines actually schedule their planes so we don't have further delays in the future, which has nothing to do with air traffic control.
And Jonathan, the president called this, or rather Congress called this, some in Congress called this a temporary fix. Is it?
Well, it's a temporary fix in that they're going to have to make some sort of determination about what to do with this sequester or not. The across-the-board cuts, $85 billion this year. But I think they are making the decision by not doing anything. And as you see, if there's a case like the FAA, a case like the FDA, the meat inspectors, for instance, you will see Congress act to prevent a disaster from happening. The real question is what happens to those other programs that are getting cut that don't get as much attention, that aren't as acutely felt by most people.
All right, Jonathan Allen, Peter Greenberg, thanks so much.